On this next segment, we're going to talk about responsibility. We're going to talk about being responsible. What does that mean? Well, you know, there's a saying, drink responsibly. Okay, and what that means to me is that, you know, hey man, if you're going to party, if you want to do whatever you want to do, party, have fun, but at the same time, have an exit strategy. Know somewhere in your mind, you know, how far you're going to go. Know your limits. And what does that mean? It's like this, man. If you're going to drink the Kool-Aid, just take sips, okay? And what I mean by that is, you know, alphas in groups and stuff like that, it's almost like they have like a cult-like mentality. You know, what do you mean? I'm talking like what? Charles Manson, Jim Jones, that kind of thing. But now, here's the deal. I don't want to put alphas in a negative light because I'm gonna tell you something. Alphas are the only ones that probably end up going to Maine. You know, these are the people that got this veracity in their hearts and like, you know, they're like so driven. They know they're going to make it to Maine, and some of them are prior through hikers, been there before. And part of the allure towards the alpha is the fact that they do have that knowledge or they do have that passion. Okay, and that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? You need to be a party to that. You know, it's like a suckling babe. You know what I'm saying? You need to be up on that tit and get that nutrition and this, that, and the other. So I'm not going to take anything away from it. I'm not trying to put alphas in a bad light. You know, everybody's smart. You know what I'm saying? I mean, no, how can I put it? You're smart enough to prepare for this trail, to come to this trail. All right, it's not like you're just chicken little, like you got no brains whatsoever and you're just gonna follow some kook. It's not like that, you know. I trust your judgment, you trust your judgment, and it's not like you're just hooking up with somebody that don't know what's going on. No, it's like I said, alphas are generally the real deal, you know. But here's the thing, though, you know, you have to take what's going on with a grain of salt, because you got to understand, you know, there's an illusion that comes with these groups, you know, and there's a strength with that. You know, I've seen it in military a million times. I can speak on it. I mean, it's like a fist is so much stronger than a finger. I've been on the trail a million times and I've seen a guy like, oh, I mean, I can't do it. And the group comes behind them, 1 more mile. And next thing you know, they're making it, you know. I've seen situations where, you know, the guy's like, man, I don't have no more food left. And the group like, don't even trip. Eat this, eat that, you know. Same with money, same with hotels. I mean, granted, I recommend groups. Don't get me wrong. All I'm saying is at the same time, you know, sip the Kool-Aid. Don't just go all out willy-nilly. Just, you know what I'm saying? You have to be responsible about it. Okay, there's been situations where a hiker will come on a trail with mediocre gear. And when I say mediocre, I'm saying it'll suffice. It's cool. You know, it's like we all drive cars based on our means. You know, some people drive this brand and some people drive a Maserati. You know, a vehicle's a vehicle. It's going to get them where they want to go. Some has this, some has that. It don't make anyone wrong. What they're doing is they're within their comfort zone. They got what they can afford. So now you get the hiker comes on a trail with the mediocre gear. Like I said, get him where he needs to go. You know, he clicks up in these groups, you know, and, you know, the alpha's just doing his thing. You know, this is cool, but this is better, da-da-da. He's not making this guy do anything. He's not coming over him with a light or a whip saying, you will, but what I'm saying is, when the person's impressionable, you know, they see the alpha making suggestions, they look around and they see the gear that everybody else have. Next thing you know, they're on the phone, hey, I need $1,500 to blah, 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 blah. And before you know it, they're in the outfitters buying new gear. I mean, just straight new gear. You know what I mean? Like I said, spending upwards of $1,500. And what happens? 2 weeks later, the group frays, he goes home. He's going home with his $1,500 worth of gear. And I'm sure that's not what he had in mind. But see, sometimes when the group frays, it has nothing to do with the alpha doing something wrong. Sometimes they can't keep up with the alpha. Because I'll tell you, the alpha knows best. 9 times out of 10, alpha knows best. But here's the deal. When you're coming in on a trail, you're coming in with your own plans, okay? You're coming in with your own way of doing things, and what generally breaks down groups is the fact that they get tired of compromising. But the problem is, guess what? You leave that group, what do you leave? You leave the fist. Now you don't have that support no more. Now you can't do things that you've done before that you could do as a group. You don't have the strength anymore. You wane, and then your passion dies, and you get off the trail. So be cognizant of these things well beforehand. All right. Another situation. There could be a guy decides to come on a trail for 30 days. You know, there could be a college student that's going to take 6 weeks off this semester and then come on a trail. right? And you know, so what happens is these guys come on a trail, and naturally you hook up with the group, because I mean we're all going the same way. I mean really we're all one big group, but then you know they click in the group, you know what I'm saying? And then the alpha's like, oh man, when we get to Pennsylvania it's gonna be so great. Ooh, you're not gonna be able to make it. That's too bad. You can't see Pennsylvania. We'll be there and blah 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 blah, and it's really great. And so I'm saying, you know, the group is all excited. This guy's like, man, I gotta get off the trail. This is so great. I hate to leave you guys. What does he do? He get on the phone, boss, I'm going to Maine. You can get my job away. I quit. You know, they call the school. Well, I think I'll just go ahead and take the year off. What happens? The group phrase. The guy goes home. He doesn't have a job. Okay, the guy that was in school, now he had to wait the whole year. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like growing pains. You know, everybody don't mature at the same time. You got a household full of 5 kids. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna break up and leave the house as they get more mature. People ask me, yo man, why did you get out of the military? I tell them I grew out of it. You know, at some point, no matter what you use, you're gonna change. You're gonna morph. I'm not blaming the alpha for all this other stuff. I mean, he's just there to help you out. You know, you can't be under the drill sergeant all day. Sometimes, you know, you will graduate basic training, and you can take everything the drill sergeant gave you, and you can go out there and use that. Look at the alpha in that light. I mean, they have a lot of charisma. They are more experienced, but you know, I hope I don't sound like I'm contradicting myself, because I just don't want to put the alpha in a negative light, because there are groups. You need groups. You're never going to make it alone. And now, it's like I told you before, yes, 100% of everybody hikes alone, and in a sense you do hike alone, but at the same time, I can tell you this, you're not going to make it by yourself. I mean, there's going to come a time where you're going to need the group, and that's all I'm going to say like that. But I just want you to know, you know, be cognizant. You know what I'm saying? Drink responsibly. Sip the Kool-Aid. Don't just go, you know, throwing it back. And one more scenario. And it happened enough times for me to mention this, but the only reason why I'm mentioning it has nothing to do with what I've done, but it's just from what I've seen. Okay, now I cut my own hair. I carry clippers. Okay, so the alpha would be like, man, that's a lot of hair, and it's true. You know, the girls will come out there with these big old mop waves. I mean, like 80s hair, big hair. You know, and you know, the alpha, some of them are female, however you want to do it. And you know, the girls are getting hot and don't know what to do with this mop, and the guy's like, man, you know, or the girl, the alpha, you need a haircut. You know, I recommend you lose some of that. You know, and so it's been, you know, happened several times. You know, we get to town, they're like, August, would you give me a haircut? And I'm like, yeah, are you sure you want to do that? Yeah, and it makes sense. But what I'm saying is, I'm not saying, are you sure you want to lose your hair? Are you sure you're going to be in for the long haul? And they're like, oh, it'll grow back by the time I get to Maine, blah, blah, blah. And they're right. It will grow back by the time you get to Maine. So, you know, we in the hotel room. I'm crack. You know, it's like Sinead O'Connor coming up. I'm hooking them up, right? And so when they're done, you know, they're looking in the mirror, and now they're like Natalie Portman and like V for Victory, looking all whatever. And they're like, oh, it feels so great. And they just pump. 2 weeks later, they're going home. They're going home bald-headed. It's like, you know, so be careful, man. That's all I could tell you. Be careful. I mean, you're going to be making decisions that are just going to affect so much. So you got to make sure how much of this decision is based on me, and how much is it based on the dream or what the alpha pumped into me, you know. Because like I said, you know, you're going to grow and you're going to develop on the trail. Give yourself that time. Which makes me go into the next thing. There's another saying. The best laid plans of mice and men usually go awry, or something like that, and it makes sense. So I'm gonna tell you like this: if you've been planning this trail for 9 months and you got in your opinion, the perfect schedule, and this schedule does not lend itself to modification, I'm gonna tell you right now, abandon that schedule. Okay, that's not going to work. If there's no way that you can actually go through and start making changes to the schedule, then it's just gonna lend itself to disaster. Okay, you're moving, you're morphing, you're changing, and you're learning. I mean, I'll put it to you like this: everything I've told you on this trail, I've learned through years of experience. Okay, and for everything I'm telling you, all right, there's 10 things on the same subject that I haven't even mentioned yet, that I can't mention, that I forgot or didn't apply to me, but that can have a direct reflection on how you hike. Okay, what I'm giving you is just snippets. Now think about this: if anything I said in these videos have helped you, okay, ask yourself this: Did I know it before I got these videos? Was this anywhere in my plan, in my foresight? And if the answer is no, then I'm telling you, there's 1,000 more things you're going to figure out as it goes. It's like, is it Plato? No. Aristotle says, for the things we don't know how to do, we learn by doing them. I mean, that's the whole reason why we have an apprenticeship. So the point I'm trying to tell you is this: is look at yourself as a thru-hiker's apprentice. Going into this to the mindset of, I'm going to learn how to thru-hike, not this is what I have, I'm going to take everything I know and go with it. Because at the end of the day, you don't know much. You know, we all go into the trail blind. I'm going to go back and thru-hike. I'm still going to be blind. You know, I'm still going to be learning. That's the only reason why I go. I mean, it's never boring. You always go and you reinvent yourself. You learn something new every single day, and that's the beauty of it, okay? So, you know, you're not Moses. It's not the 10 Commandments. Your plan does not have to be written in stone. And if it is, it might not work out good for you. And, you know, since I'm on the subject, I will say this, you know, there's a lot of females on the trail, and there's a lot of females that have thru-hiked. So if there's any women that have thru-hiked and they're looking at these videos, I recommend you do something for the ladies. I can't speak on behalf of girls. I'm sure there's a lot of pitfalls that's going to happen to women that I can't even speak of because I don't know what's going on. I mean, the Appalachian Trail is not going anywhere. YouTube is not going anywhere. You don't necessarily have to be eloquent. All you got to do is just speak from the heart. So if there's any women out there that can pretty much do what I'm doing, but, you know, say a few things, even if it's just one video, something that they can impart to the female hikers out there, I'm sure they would appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? So that's just something to put out there, you know, as far as the community mindset goes. You know, I'm doing something for the community, but I can only go so far. Me being the minority, me being the male, blah, 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 you know. So let this be a spearhead, you know. Let me be the one to set the example, because I tell you, when I was looking on YouTube and I put in the AT Trail, you get snippets of what my documentary is going to be. You know, you see the facts, you see things as they unfold. That's cool, you know what I'm saying. But at the same time, how is that helping somebody that's going out there? You know, I wanted to put something more from an instructional standpoint, and really, this has nothing to do with the documentary. The documentary that I'm going to put out there is going to be pretty much similar to all the snippets that's out there right now. This is something a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit more precise and more programmed to those people that are actually going to go and experience. And these are the videos. These are the things that's going to have the most life. You know what I'm saying? That can do the most good. And so, like I said, if there's any females out there that have thru-hike, and even if you haven't even thru-hiked, if there's something you learned on the trail that you wish somebody would have told you, make a video out of it, you know. So sip the Kool-Aid, man. That's all I could tell you. And it's like I said before, you know, you need groups. There's nothing wrong with groups. Yeah, I'll hike in groups. Me, like I said, I work the fringes. You know, I'm not a know-it-all. You know. Yeah, if you don't know things, you go to the group and you learn things. You got doctors hiking the trail, lawyers hiking the trail, engineers hiking the trail. You learn so much, and especially with the doctors from a nutritional standpoint. You know, I mean, yeah, I'm talking from what I've learned from people on the trail, from you know, wise sages. You know, so keep these things in mind. Okay, out here.